record it to the cloud. Hello, everybody. How are you out there in Facebook land? I am here today with the second episode of my show, Spice of Life Variety. And I'm bringing together a variety of people, creative minds in my life who have made a difference, people that I want to introduce you to. And today I have a very beautiful woman who I know you're just going to fall in love with. Her name is Pavita. And when you see her, you're just going to love her. So she is an Ivy League grad. She's a former crisis counselor. She is a nonprofit director presently, a creative artist, and a very highly eclectic woman who has visited 38 countries. And she also loves to belly dance. She also happens to be my book editor, so I'm so thrilled to have her here. Now, we are also together in a different sense, which we'll talk about throughout this video. We are, well, I won't give it away yet, but without further ado, I want to introduce you. Pavita, welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
I'm so excited to have you here.
I'm excited too. Thanks for having me.
So one of the things we talked about the other day was different ways that you found in your day to bring that inner peace. And one of the things that I love about you is that you bring your laughter, your light, your spirit to every day. And I just want you to share a little bit about yourself and, you know, maybe what you've learned over the years in all the countries that you visited. Maybe there was a pattern that you saw with people that you met, that you loved and maybe brought back with you.
Yeah, so speaking of inner peace, the honest truth is that I don't have it all figured out yet, but that's okay. It's all part of my process, part of my journey. You mentioned laughter earlier, and I would say that is a very important part of who I am and an important way for me to cultivate inner peace. I think doing something or experiencing something at least once a day that makes you laugh is so valuable and so important for cultivating physical, mental, and emotional health. I am very thankful for my work right now. You know, we're going through some pretty crazy and stressful times, and in an interesting way, I feel like my work has actually kept me grounded and kept me at peace at a time like this. And, you know, being able to maintain connection with other people has been instrumental. You mentioned my love for dance. So every morning I start off my day with a exercise session. And I've actually also been able to bring my sister in on those workouts. So I'm in New York, she's in Washington, DC. And, you know, because of this whole situation, everything is virtual now. And so I've been able to bring her in on my virtual classes, which is something that, you know, we might not have even thought of prior to this pandemic. So, you know, just looking for the silver linings in any negative situation, I think can be very helpful. And that's certainly one of the silver linings that I've experienced. In terms of my travel, I think recognizing that you have something to learn from everybody, no matter who they are, no matter what their circumstances in life are. Everybody has something of value to share, and being open to what you can learn from them, I think, has been a very significant part of my journey. Throughout all of my travels and even at home, I have come across some amazing people, and everybody, I believe, has played a role in helping me cultivate a sense of inner peace and inner balance. So that's something that I'm very grateful for.
You know, I really appreciate you mentioning the fact that we can learn from so many different people, because this show is built on that idea, the variety being the spice of life. And I think sometimes, and maybe you'll agree, we tend to get caught in learning from a specific number of people, maybe our inner circle, and we get stuck in these ideas, and we forget sometimes that the people outside our sphere or in other circles, we can learn an immense amount from. And when you were editing my book, one of the things you might recall in there was I talked about the role models, good and bad, and what lessons we can bring from each one of those experiences. And I'm curious to ask if you've had a specific negative role model and a positive role model who fed into your life lessons, and not necessarily naming anyone, but just, does that exist for you where you're able to take those lessons from both the positive and negative people that you've been in contact with or have grown up with?
Absolutely. My parents were my first role models and continue to be important role models for me. Mom, Papa, if you're watching, I love you. I think, first and foremost, they just taught me what it means to be a good person. We define success in a variety of ways, and, being ambitious is very important to me, and I'm sure we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think first and foremost, it's very important to me that I don't forget or compromise on my personal values, which are being honest, sharing what I have with other people, and just remembering right from wrong, and trying my best to do the right thing whenever I can. And helping people when I'm able to, I think is very important. I think my dad especially has shown me that being ambitious and successful and being a good person are not by any means mutually exclusive. You don't have to sacrifice one for the other. And so the sense of charisma and intelligence and charm and service to others that he possesses is something that I very much admire and, try to live up to in my own life. And, I think at my young age, I've done a pretty good job, and that's something that I'd like to continue to do. And then, what my mom brings to the table is her selflessness and her passion for helping others. And she's an activist, trying to, heal heal the injustices in the world. And that's something that both me and my sister have exhibited.
Wow, you've really had some powerful role models in your life. And I think it's fascinating because when I look at your body of work, the work you're doing in the world, your ambitions, but also the way that you contribute is just, it's so profound. And one of the things I know about you is that you've helped young girls to really embrace certain things to help their mental health. And I would like for you to share just a minute how giving back, contributing in that way has helped some of those young girls in your experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm currently working as the acting executive director of an organization called Girls Health Ed, which is a nonprofit that's committed to providing accurate and comprehensive health and sexuality education to adolescent girls, both in the US and in Kenya, and hoping to expand to other sites as well. We have a very comprehensive and holistic curriculum that covers issues around nutrition, body image, physical activity, personal care and hygiene, reproductive health, violence prevention, healthy relationships. And so we have trained teaching fellows who will go into different schools and community centers, particularly in underserved areas where they don't otherwise have access to such information at home or at school. And anecdotally, we've gotten a lot of great feedback about our program. So one example that sticks out to me is we had a series of workshops taking place at one of the Boys and Girls Clubs in Washington, D.C. And after the workshop series was over, one of the program coordinators reported back to us that there had been a group of boys who was bullying a group of girls because they had had their periods and were making fun of them. And the girls who participated in our program were actually able to stand up to these boys and educate them and put a stop to that bullying. Other anecdotal evidence indicates that, one particular girl thought that she didn't have any friends because of how she looked, but then after taking part in the body image section of our curriculum, realized that this was a false belief. And, we have pre and post survey results that indicate that after participating in the workshops, the girls do feel more comfortable in their own skin and recognize that they have positive qualities outside of how they look and embrace that more. Other evidence suggests that the girls feel more comfortable talking to their parents or trusted adults in their lives about the topics that we cover in the curriculum after participation in these workshops. And very importantly, the girls report that they feel more comfortable talking to their romantic or sexual partners about safer sex practices. So this is a program that does have impact on girls. I also had the very unique and special opportunity to travel to Kenya last year, where I gave workshops to girls in some of the remote villages and urban slums there. They were so excited about this workshop. You could see, and this also I think comes back to inner peace. And my experience in Kenya really showed me that you could be living with limited resources, but you could be so happy in your life. I think, one thing that I really saw in these girls is the importance of gratitude and really appreciating all of the little blessings. You don't have to live in a mansion in Santa Barbara or a Fifth Avenue penthouse on the Upper East Side to be happy. You could be living in an urban slum or in a remote village with no Wi-Fi or internet connection, and just be so grateful to be in school, to have an education, to have family and friends and important role models in your life. So yeah, and you could tell from these girls that they were so thrilled for the opportunity to be in school and to make a better life for themselves. And I feel like that's something that we might forget growing up here in the States, at least in my experience. I find that a lot of kids have, anxiety around school and, sometimes dread the experience of going to school, which in a lot of ways is totally justified. There are some things that are happening in our schools that I wouldn't wish on anybody. But just remembering the fact that having an education is a privilege and that, you can use it to really, make your dreams come true and open up more doors for yourself. So.
What I love about this segment of the interview that stands out for me is what you said, what you're saying now about not having to have all of these things. That's not what makes you happy. I don't think that we could talk about gratitude enough in this world. And right now, we're all in a place where it's tough to put ourselves in another perspective. And the fact that you've had this fortunate opportunity to be inserted in these areas that gave you that fuller perspective, just hearing the message, just you sharing it is a reminder, an important reminder for all of us right now. I'm sitting here in my home and I have to put myself in the mind of gratitude through perspective sometimes.
Absolutely. And I just want to interject here and say that, kind of like I mentioned in the beginning of the segment, I don't have it all figured out. I do practice gratitude. I practice mindfulness, meditation, and, a bunch of other things that, are said to contribute to overall health and well-being. And I just need to be completely honest that it doesn't always work. I'm not claiming to have all of the answers, but at the same time, I just want to say that it is important that you keep trying to find those things. I do feel confident that even if I don't have it all figured out right now, maybe somewhere down the line, I will have cultivated more of a sense of inner peace, and just coming to my personal beliefs. I feel like this is all aiding me in the evolution of my soul, and so no harm can come from implementing some of these practices, even if you can't see the results immediately, even if it takes years or months or a lifetime. It's okay. And just looking for the little moments in the day that might make you smile or make you laugh, or at least not make you feel anxious is always a good thing.
And I do, one thing I absolutely love about you is that you do demonstrate your personal values regularly. And the fact that you're honest about the fact that you don't have it all together when it comes to inner peace is very helpful. And it's kind of what I talked about with my interview with Bear the other day, when we were saying how important it is to acknowledge what's actually happening. So if you know you're in a space that you haven't quite mastered something, or you haven't gotten to maybe that next place of inner peace that you would want to be at, the fact that you can say you're not there yet is a strength, and it's very powerful.
Amy, I think I lost you.
I'm right here. Got me?
I can't hear you.
Okay, I'm right here.
Oh, now you, okay.
So I see you still. Now, did you hear what I just said, or?
I didn't. So I heard Bear said the other day, and
yes.
then I lost
So
it.
we were talking about the importance of acknowledging how we feel, of acknowledging maybe where we're not at or where we haven't quite mastered something. That in itself, in my philosophy, is a strength. And it's bringing forth that honesty, which I believe which is one of my personal values. Being really honest about where you're at is what's more helpful to the people that we're speaking with, the people that we're wanting to influence, because when we start to either beat ourselves up because we're not in a place we wish we were, or we go the other way and we lie to ourselves and think we're in a place where we're not, both ends of the spectrum can work against us, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there are just so many topics that I could bring up with you. Hold on. So in case anyone's wondering, I am drinking some lemon water with ginger, grated ginger in the bottom, which I love, and a little bit of a sprinkle of turmeric. So this is my little spice today, and I love how it disappears. So let's see. What do I want to dive into next? Well, I would love to dive into what your present, I don't want to call it a project, but your work in the world, which is now online, and it's something that you've invited me to partner with you on. And I want to open the door to you to explain to people what that is. I am personally extremely excited to have partnered with you, and thank you so much. So I will let you take over and explain what that is.
Thank you. Yeah, so I am presently working for a company called Konversai. That's Konversai. And what it is it's almost like an eBay for knowledge. So it's an online global marketplace for any and all knowledge, and it connects providers of knowledge with seekers of knowledge on any topic of interest through live video conversations. And so you can be anywhere in the world, as long as you have a device with internet connection and have something to share or some curiosity. We want you to be on Konversai. So the way it works is that knowledge providers and knowledge seekers each have listings of things that they would like to teach and things that they would like to learn. And we encourage all of our users to be both knowledge providers and knowledge seekers on any and as many topics as they wish. So knowledge providers will list their price and duration for their sessions, and knowledge seekers can book sessions with them. And The sessions, as I mentioned, take place on live video, either through Skype, FaceTime, or Google Hangout, and you do the session at the agreed upon time. And so all of the scheduling and all of the payment takes place directly on the platform. And we have, as I mentioned, a variety of topics. So whether it be a foreign language or a musical instrument or life coaching or an academic subject or dance, yoga, bartending, anything that you could think of, cooking, it all has a place on Konversai, no matter how seemingly commonplace or obscure, or, whether it be I'm thinking of visiting this country and I would love to talk to somebody who has been there or who lives there and can give me the inside scoop, or, I'd like to apply to this college and I would love to be able to talk to a graduate or a current student and get their perspective. We also have some providers offering sessions for free. Particularly in light of this pandemic, this is a tool that can really be useful to anybody. So for example, we have a lot of employees or workers who have lost work because of the pandemic. So what you could do is you could bring your talent and experience to Konversai and actually teach somebody how to do whatever your craft is, whether it be cooking or personal training or, tutoring, anything. For people who are not able to keep up with their extracurriculars, not able to go to the gym, are sick of eating the same thing all the time, they could use this tool to, connect with somebody who can,
I want that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to explore that next. I'm going to see.
I have been doing so much cooking and it's been such a blessing. I've made some heavenly banana bread. I've made a bunch of awesome, spicy vegan recipes. I'm just so grateful for this platform right now. And then, there are also some people who are just feeling lonely and feeling isolated and feeling anxious about everything that's going on and just want a safe space to come and talk about their experiences, or just want somebody to listen to them or talk to them. And so we have a lot of people on the platform who are, just donating their time to talk to people about anything or listen to people about anything that they want to share. This is a safe space where you can really come as you are. You can say, I don't have all the answers, or I just have this little nugget of wisdom about this topic and I'd love to share it with you. And so one of our main premises is that, kind of like I was talking about earlier, no matter who you are, no matter what your circumstances in life are, no matter what it is that you're doing, you do have something of value to share. And it can and it will benefit somebody somewhere in the world, whether that be someone sitting across the street or someone sitting halfway across the world. And I think it's relates to what you were talking about earlier when you said that we're so dependent sometimes on too much on our own networks. But you could have the most extensive network in the world, but there still might be somebody who you haven't met yet who really has something of value to offer you, and Konversai opens that world for you. So both as someone who's had the pleasure of working for the company pretty much since its founding, and also a very avid user of the platform, I'm so grateful for what Konversai has done for me.
It's an amazing variety of people. And going back to what you said, we're all in our space right now. We can't travel. So being able to travel in that platform is amazing, because we can learn a recipe one day, we can learn a dance the next, we can go back the next day and get some counseling, another ear, somebody that might be across the world, but is there to literally listen to you and listen to your heart and soul and what you're going through. So it offers this variety of support that I'm just so thrilled about. I'm so thrilled to be part of it as your global small business partner, and to witness all of the goodness out there. And I think for the watchers out there, for people watching this video, that's really, for me, what Konversai offers, is this place that you can be reminded that there are so many good people out there who are putting themselves out there, willing to help. And, they're there. They're there. And really it comes down to us being in control of reaching out. And speaking of reaching out, it can be tough, don't you think, Pavita, sometimes to reach out to the people closest to us or our friends when we're struggling with something. And so I love the fact that you've offered this opportunity for people to reach out in a safe space. And I love the fact that this, again, is you demonstrating your value of wanting to share. You're part of a sharing space and you're inviting people in. And that just to me is remarkable. So I'm so happy you talked about it today. I told you we were going to be bringing it up. And at the end of our little session here, I will ask you to tell people where you'd like them to go so that they can explore this and make it part of their daily experience for inner peace and some excitement, some adventure. We can't travel right now, so let's travel online. Let's figure out what we have inside of us that we want to explore. So I do want to take us into the next exciting part of our video, which is one of your things that you enjoy, which is belly dancing. And I'm looking at you now, and I think that you have oh my gosh, look at you, a beautiful belly dancing outfit on. And I'm going to probably take myself off beach mode here. And maybe you can teach me some moves.
All right.
So let's see. I'm not sure what's behind me. Let's see. Okay. So everybody, I hope you'll join. This is part of how Pavita does some inner peace work in her mornings. So I'm just going to change this virtual background here.
Yeah, and I would like to give a special shout out to my belly dance teacher, Ocean, on Konversai. Ocean actually lives in India, so halfway across the world from me. And we connected through the platform, and she is an amazing dancer, singer, artist, and also now one of my really good friends. So that demonstrates the magic of the platform.
And is she on Konversai?
She is. That is how I found her. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, wonderful. All right, so I'm in my makeshift outfit here.
All right. So yeah, basic move of belly dance is just moving your hips around in a circle. Very nice. Another basic move is just raising your hips. So a good trick to this is to stand on your toe and just alternate between each leg. And then waves are another important part of belly dancing.
It's a workout.
It is a workout.
Ooh, I can feel it.
Your core. So if you're interested, I would love to show you a performance that Ocean taught me, and that happens to be one of my favorites. So
I would love to. Oh my beautiful. I am speechless. I am speechless. I truly hope that everybody out there enjoyed that. That was amazing. And I know now where I'm going on Konversai. That's my next step. That is my next piece of spice for the week. I am so thankful that you shared that. And I think
I hope you're feeling more at peace, Amy.
I am absolutely feeling more at peace. And I so appreciate your honesty today and just sharing your adventures in life. There's so many topics we can talk about. I hope that you will come on again. But before you do, before you leave me and us, please direct everyone to Konversai or wherever you want them to meet you and to interact.
Yeah, so you can definitely check me out on Konversai. That's Konversai. You're also welcome to connect with me on Facebook, Pavita Singh, or Instagram at Pavidoodles, and you can see my artwork there. Or yeah, just send me a message or send me an email, and I would love to connect with you.
Wonderful, and I will post that link once this video gets up and running. And I want to thank you again, and thank you all for tuning into this recorded video live with Pavita today. And I will be back again with some new guests moving forward. I will post those soon. Pavita, I hope you'll tune in as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being part of my Variety of Life, Spice of Life variety show here at Amy McCann headquarters.
Yay!
This is my headquarters for a while, I think. So, and I look forward to seeing your beautiful face in person when all of this washes over. But for now, I'm grateful we have each other here.
I can't wait. Thank you so much, Amy. Sending lots of love. And have a great day, everybody. Look forward to connecting soon.
Bye-bye.